it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
What's up, VideoFort Nation? I'm MagicBard, and for today, I'm going to show you how to do a lyric video like this example here.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about.
Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Alright, so as you can see, we have lyrics synced up to the music, so this is really great for music videos, or if, say for example, you're doing a podcast and you want to make a video, like a typography lyric video to that podcast, this will work very well. So we're going to drop in some footage that we got from storyblocks.com, and I'll show you how to do that at the end of this tutorial. But if you guys are new to the channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon right next to it, so that way when we put out a new tutorial, you'll be the first to check it out, show your friends all your cool effects, and you'll be on your way to becoming a visual effects artist. And so with that being said, let's jump in to the tutorial. So here's what we got. As you can see from the video, we have some text that is moving. We've got keyframes, animations, and then our stock footage behind it, which we got from storyblocks.com, some really epic fireworks, and then we have a nice downtown LA. Let me see if I can show you. Downtown LA aerial shot that was actually a time-lapse shot, or I guess you can call it a hyperlapse, because we have the drone coming into the scene as we're going into LA, which is a super epic shot. Lots of production value, and yeah, just a nice way to really bump up that production value on your video. So let's jump into it and see what we can do. So I've got my song right here, and it's really just a couple of lyrics, and what we're gonna do is, you can't really see much, so with your soundtrack selected, hit the LL on your keyboard, and that will show you the waveform. Okay, and now I'm gonna show you kind of how I can sync up text with the music. So what you can do is, when you scrub through on Premiere Pro, you can hear what's going on, but in After Effects you can't. What you have to do is you have to hold down the Command key and then scrub at the same time. So when I do that, okay, you can start to hear what's going on. So I'm going to start to sync everything up. So the first one is hit it, right? And right when he says it, which is right about here, is when we're going to throw in a nice text. So I'm just going to use my text tool and go with the hit it. And this, as you can see, is the Magnum font. I believe it's a free font that you can get online. So I'm going to just line it up, center it up. So I'm using my align controls to center it up to the center of my frame. And then what I'm also going to do is take my anchor and put it in the middle. So just use the anchor tool right here, or the pan anchor behind, and put it right where I believe the middle is, which is right here. So then when I do any type of scaling up or down, it will scale based on this point. Okay, so we're going to go in. So we'll start here, hit it, and then right at this hit, I'm going to, with the hit it selected, hold down the Command Shift and then hit D, and that will split your clip right in the middle. And then what we're going to do is just hit the S for scale and then scale up. And then on the next hit, which I think is over here, okay, you hear that right there? Is where we're going to split it again. So Command Shift D, and let's zoom up one more time. So I'm gonna hit S and scale that bad boy up, maybe a little bit more, and let it play out. And as you can see, as the song kind of fades out, all the way to right before he says that's what I'm talking about, which is about here, I'm going to trim it right there. So what I'm going to do is hold down the Option and then the end bracket tool, or the end bracket, I should say, button, right? And that is right under the delete key on your keyboard. So right there. Okay, cool. And then what we're going to do is, with our top guy selected, our top text, hit T for your opacity, and we're going to keyframe that at 100% at that beginning, and then at the end, we'll just go to 0. Okay, so it fades out right there. Cool. So we got to hit it and then make sure, oh, it looks like it didn't start from where we wanted it, which is right there. So just trim it to the very beginning, and now we got to
Hit it. That's what I'm talking about.
just let it render out here, and
Hit it. Hit it.
cool. So we did that really quickly. That's a nice little, quick animation that we can do. And now let's try something else. So now what we're going to do is try something a little bit different. So say you have your text already lined up to where you want it, and you want it to pop in as he's saying, that's what I'm talking about. And you'll hear that he kind of flubs the what and the I'm together. So let me zoom in by pressing the plus sign, and let's try it out. So you can hear the what about here. So what I'm going to do is just duplicate this layer, Command D, and then trim it to right where he says what. And then I'm going to look for the I'm, or actually I'm going to listen for it, right? So he kind of goes, what I'm talking about, right? So it's about here. Command D to duplicate that, trim it over. So this is going to be, that's what I'm, and then the talking's going to be about here. And you can hear the T. Right about there, the t, t. So T's and P's are actually really easy to find because they have that plosive sound to it, where it's just like the p, the p, the p, and the T. Talking. And then about, right about there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Cool. So once you've got it all lined up, okay, now all we did was we took the first layer, which has all the text in it, and then we duplicated it and trimmed it to the beginning of each word. And then what we're going to do is now mask out each word. So the very first word is that's, right? So that's on the bottom. So just take your mask tool, and we're going to create a rectangular mask. So you can use the pen tool and kind of cut it out, but with this font, it's actually really easy to just mask it with a rectangle. So that's, and then the next one, layer number 2, what. Okay, now we're just creating masks to sort of cut out our text one by one. What I'm, and then the talking about will be next. Okay, so fairly simple, right? And then once you have that all lined up, you can play it out and see it.
That's what I'm talking about. Hit it. That's what I'm talking about.
Cool. So now it all lines up, right? We got it all synced up. And that's how you can kind of do your whole song. Now, let's add some stuff so it's not just black and white, right? We want a nice little background. So we have this nice fireworks footage from Storyblocks, and what we're going to do is drag that onto the bottom and have this nice little mesmerizing background, all right? Now, it's a little hard to see, and what I'm going to do is...
Wait.
So we'll have our text end on the hit, and then the wait. So what I'm going to do is right before he says wait, I'm going to trim it right there. So just Option and bracket. Okay, that's the bracket right under the delete key. And then we're going to go back to black, right? So one thing that I notice is that sometimes it may be a little hard for you to discern your text from the background. Though this is actually not a, this is, good contrast. You got your white and then your darker background. It's actually pretty easy to see. But say, for example, you had a brighter background and it was a lot harder to see the text. What you can do is add some text effects. So one effect that I really like is, so I'm going to have the about selected, go to layer, layer styles, and then inner shadow. So that'll create a shadow inside. It almost looks like it's kind of stamped in there, right? And then you could go into your layer styles, inner shadow, and then mess around with the parameters inside there. So you can, make the distance further or a little bit closer if you don't like that shadow so prominent. And then you can turn the opacity up, although I like to turn it down a little more. So 50%. And then you kind of got that nice little outline that's not really a stroke, And so say you like that inner shadow, what I'm going to do is just select the layer styles, Command C, okay, copy that, and then select all your text and Command V. And what that'll do is just paste it onto all the text, and now you've got a nice little effect on your text. Okay, cool. Another thing that I did on my video was a little zoom in, or I should say a scale up, scale in, scale up, whatever you want to call it. So let's go back to our hit it at the very beginning and hit S on your keyboard and hit a keyframe at the very beginning of the hit it. So I'm going to zoom in here by pressing the plus sign and then kind of watch this waveform, okay? So as he says, so right before he says the it part, so right about here, the it, so it's hit it, I'm going to add another keyframe and scale this up. And actually, I'm not going to scale it up that much, so I'm going to do like 115 and then go back to this guy's scale and drop him down below 100%, so maybe like 80. So we have a nice scale up like that. And then it pops in right there. Okay, cool, that'll look good. Actually, I'm going to drop this down even more to maybe like 50, so it really zooms in. And now take both keyframes, select them both, hit the right click. Oh, you can't really see that. Let me move this up so you guys can see what's going on here. And so select both keyframes, right click. Okay, you still can't see it. Right click and keyframe assistance and go to easy ease. So we're going to easy ease these keyframes out. So that way it's going to create a smoother transition from the beginning to the end. And then what we're going to do is also click on this little guy. This is the graph editor where you can actually edit these keyframes and what they do. So what's going to happen is we want it to speed up in the very beginning. So we want this little arc part over here at the beginning so that it starts off really fast and then kind of smooths into that scale up, right? So right now it's starting pretty slow. This is the fastest part of the zoom, and then it slows down at the end. So what we're going to do is click on this keyframe and then drag the handlebar all the way to the left. And then you'll see that we just moved the top of the arc all over to, or closer to the left. So now what's going to happen is, let me just hit the, let me do a little RAM preview on this. So it kind of pops in there. You see that? And it's a nicer transition, okay? So that's a cool way to kind of mess with keyframes, animate the keyframes, and make your typography a little more customized than anyone else's. To make your typography a little more customized, okay? So cool, we've got that nice zoom in, we've got the little pumps right here, and then we have our, that's what I'm talking about with the inner shadow. One more thing I want to show you is using track mats with video footage to create a stylized text. So right after he says, that's what I'm talking about,
Wait.
he says, wait. So we're going to go to that beginning part right before he says, wait.
Wait.
And let's add that text in there. So just go to my text tool and type in wait. And then maybe a exclamation point too, why not? put him in the very middle, so center him up by using the align tools that we have, and then drag this anchor point to the center of our weight text. And now what we're going to do is make sure we trim that weight down to where it's supposed to be, so option and beginning bracket to kind of self trim it over there, and then I'm going to put it all the way to the top as well, so we kind of create this ladder stack up to the top, or a staircase I guess you can call it. So we go from weight, and then what I'm also going to do is do some type of transition, and right at the hit just trim it down, so option and bracket. And this time with the weight, I'm going to put the video inside of the text by using track mats. It's actually really easy. So what we're going to do is I have this nice downtown LA aerial stock footage shot from Storyblocks, and we're going to add that right under our weight text. Okay? So it looks like this, and then just make sure you trim it down as well. So option and bracket like that to trim it down. And now what we have to do is make sure the video footage is selected. Go to your track mats, and if you can't see that, just hit the toggle switches mode, because you may be over here. So toggle switches and modes, go to the track mat, and make sure with the video file selected, alpha mat it to weight, and boom, it'll just pop right in there, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, this is a little hard to see, right?
Okay.
So what we're going to do is just take our text layer, duplicate it, so Command D to duplicate it, take this text layer on the top, drop it to below the video footage, and then we're going to create a stroke. So just go to our stroke, and as you can see, I already kind of have a stroke. It's 13 pixels, it's white, that's all looking good, and I'm just going to turn it on, and there we go. Turn up the stroke until you see a nice little outline. That'll be a lot easier to see your text. Okay? Now cool, maybe you also want to animate this text as well. The same thing that we did over here. Now you can take this and copy it. So Command C, copy these keyframes, go over to the very beginning of our weight, take our weight, hit the S for scale, and then we're going to Command V that right into there. And what's going to happen is you're going to see it zoom in there just like our last one. And what we want to do is make sure that our stroke layer is doing the same thing. So go to our stroke layer, hit S, and then Command V to make sure that that guy's going the same exact speed. And look at that. We've got a nice little lyric that's popping in with the track mat of video footage behind it. So you can imagine all the different things that you guys can do with it. Like for example, what I was doing before, we got the okay now and the weight, which is what we just did. I think we went over everything that was in the video, but using your imagination, there's a lot of different really cool effects that are simple, quick to do, and just sync up the text the way that we did it here, which was you hold down the command key on your keyboard and then scrub through the video to hear what's going on, and listen for those key clicks, pops. T's are really easy to hear, P's are really easy to hear, and you can really sync your text up really easily inside of After Effects, and you don't have to use other programs like Premiere Pro. And you'll be good to go. So I hope this helped you out and you guys create epic lyric videos on your own. Also, you guys got to check this out, Storyblocks Video. And you can see all the different types of stock footage that you guys can get and create lyric videos with. Now, what's really nice is, of course, the aerial stock footage if you really want to bring up your production value. But if you need some pre-selected clips, go over to the collections section, and then you can see all of these nice little collections of footage that kind of really all goes together, right? And this is cool, Lord of Thrones, what am I saying? Game of Thrones is one of my favorite TV shows out there, and it has a nice selection of clips that are in sync and in theme with our favorite TV show, or I should say my favorite TV show. So as you can see, a lot of really cool clips, HD, 4K, and I also want to thank Storyblocks for sponsoring this video and getting us these epic stock footage shots. Guys, you can get these by yourself. VideoBlocks.com. Check out the plan. VideoBlocks.com. Check out the plans and pricing. See what fits you best. You know, the pricing is actually pretty incredible. For $30 a month, you can get unlimited downloads. So that's HD footage, 4K, After Effects templates. I'll show you that in a second, which is really cool. Music, sound effects, loops. I mean, they have it all. So let me show you what I'm talking about, After Effects templates. So we're just doing what I like to call typography, okay? And now, say if you don't want to do this by yourself, because, you know, of course, sometimes it may take a while to create an epic typography video, lyric video, as what we are calling it. You guys can purchase these templates pre-made already with the typography already made out for you. So you can see that they have a lot of cool different designs and a lot of cool animations. And really all you got to do is get a Storyblocks account, download a couple of these templates, and you guys have a lyric video on your hands in a matter of minutes. So that is pretty epic. Guys, I'm MagicBard. This is VideoFort. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button and hit the little bell icon right next to it, so that way you guys will be updated on all our latest tutorials. We have a lot coming out in the next coming months. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If this worked out, please leave us a comment. Let us know what other type of tutorials you guys would like to learn, and I'll try to get on those as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm MagicBard. This is VideoFort, and I'll see you on the next one.